Hey, ATA, I am sorry for you, but I'm not sorry for you. You were rejoicing when Sean Duffy became the head of FMCSA. You were rejoicing because he used to be part of your ATA group and he used to be a DOT officer in Florida. But now y'all are not happy anymore. And I'm glad Sean Duffy is the head of FMCSA because Sean Duffy, in a nutshell, actually exposes the ATA. I am really happy that Sean Duffy is the head of FMCSA. First of all, he's all for the American truck driver. He's all about him. He even said, guess what? We're removing speed limiters from semi-trucks, which we're not making them mandatory anymore. Say no to speed limiters. He's all for that. And he says, the truck that I drive, that Freightliner Coronado glider, if the engine is 1999 or older, or pre-2000, I can run paper logs. There is going to be no rule about banning paper logs. So how does Sean Duffy expose the ATA? Well, basically with this. A reporter asked him this question.
Mr. Secretary, one of the reasons that so many non-citizens are driving big rigs on American roads is because, as truck driving companies report, there's a shortage of people who are wanting to take these jobs. They're very long-haul jobs, very intense. They involve long hours. Sometimes the pay may not be as competitive. So given that shortfall of American workers to take those jobs, what is the Trump administration doing to skill up those workers to create that domestic labor supply? And if you start enforcing these rules strictly, are you concerned that the absence of non-citizens is going to lead to shortages in truck driving that will then affect supply chains, transportation networks, etc.?
And then Sean Duffy answered him with this.
That's a fantastic question. And I think you have different data than I have. There's a lot of Americans who want to get behind the wheel of a big rig. These are, and have been, really great paying jobs. But when you will bring someone in who doesn't have a driver's license, they'll drive that truck for a much lower rate. Or someone who unlawfully got their license, they'll drive that rig for a much lower rate. And so what's happened in the industry is they've driven the prices down. And a lot of companies that have been around for a very long time are now starting to go out of business. So I do not buy the idea that there's not enough American truck drivers. To the contrary, there are enough American truck drivers to meet the demands that we have in this country.
Yeah, that's right. And guess which company or which organization is at fault for creating a fake truck driver shortage? The ATA, the American Truck Association. Why? Because they're all about mega carriers. They hate owner-ops and the smaller people, the smaller company, family-owned trucking companies. They're all about mega carriers. Why? They want to kick everybody out and control USA with mega carriers. That's all they care about. So what they did, they put this influx that there's a trucking shortage and everybody got hired left and right, and that's when the rates dropped. Yes, that's exactly right. That's when the rates dropped, all because they did a fake trucker shortage. And Sean Duffy explained them this, that there is no trucking shortage and that this is the reason why trucking rates are down. So I'm siding with Sean Duffy for this. Yes, there is no such thing as a truck shortage. We have too many of these foreigners that don't speak English that would drive at 20 cents a mile a truck instead of getting paid top dollar and take the jobs away from the American truck driver. And companies are all about bringing in a lot of people to work for them on pennies on the dollar and drop the rates down because they're paying the guys cheap labor. And that's how we got to the point of where we're at now. There is no such thing as a truck shortage, folks. And Sean Duffy exposed ATA by answering with this reporter, because ATA is the one that have been pushing for trucking shortage, and I'm pretty sure the ATA is also behind about hiring illegal truck drivers and paying them pennies on the dollar. Not canceled. Guys, I'm Eddie B. 2004 Jerry This particular package, drive an attempt on the 6 Series.